Senators, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. There's never been a more appropriate time to discuss the future of Australian media. It has never been more diverse, and it has never been more challenged. Democracies worldwide are rediscovering the vital role that professional journalism plays in society, and audience numbers are at record levels. At the same time, all established media organisations are moving to digital. This is why the agreements announced this week by news media companies and Google are so important. The ACCC and the members of this parliament have shown real leadership in a process which will help big, small, private and public news creators in Australia. It is an historic moment, and in that context, I urge this committee to look at Australian news media as it is now and how it can be in the future. Equally, I urge you to push back at those who want to see it through the prism of times gone by. This inquiry is about media diversity, but diversity is not just about ownership. It's about the diversity of views, diversity of sources, and importantly, the incredible diversity in the way people now access news and information. The old habits of reading just one newspaper, choosing one radio and TV station have been replaced by a world embracing unlimited information sources. Sales of print newspapers have declined sharply, and all established media companies have had to follow their audiences online. And it is audiences who are now setting the rules about how news, information and entertainment is consumed. It is simply a fact that we are now living in the most diverse news media marketplace in Australian history, and to deny that is to turn a blind eye to the modern world. Surely this committee doesn't believe that news media needs more regulation, more controls and more constraint. We must preserve the cornerstone of democracy and free speech, which is captured so well by the phrase, "I disagree with everything you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it." Democracy is messy. It is a work in progress that relies on the robust and open exchange of news, views and opinions, and a recognition that all people have a right to hear a range of views. On any given day, you'll hear people on the ABC highly critical of the views of people on News Corp platforms, and those people will be firing straight back. This is not democracy failing, this is democracy working. This inquiry is evidence of our nation's embrace of free speech. The former Prime Minister's objections to News Corp that mobilised his social media followers is in large part of why we're here. I do respect and I'll defend the former PM's right to hold his views. I suspect his problem might be that he only respects those views that agree with his. Turning to media diversity, the top 10 news websites in Australia, which is where the biggest audiences consume their news, paints a picture of diversity, not monopoly. And this is where Australians are now consuming news. Ranked by audience numbers, the biggest news sites are the ABC's, followed by 9 News, and then News Corp's news.com.au. The top 10 sites include 3 sites operated by 9, 2 from News, along with sites from the Daily Mail, The Guardian, 7 News, and Australian Community Media. And the majority of new online news consumers are choosing to use between 4 and 5 different sites. The way the news audience now behaves, including how it consumes news and views through search and social media, demonstrates the diversity delivered by the digital revolution. But those who chant the monopoly line ignore this, even though many of them have used social media themselves to create huge audiences. They cherry-pick old-fashioned measures of printed newspaper sales, viewership of subscription television channels, and frankly, conspiracy theories, to paint a picture that just does not stand up to scrutiny. If the sloganeering had any truth, the governments across the country would be the ones that the editors decided are best, and people would sing one tune on the big issues. The absolute reverse is true. Australia has 9 federal, state and territory governments, 4 are coalition, 5 are ALP. The latest news poll has federal, ALP and coalition sitting at 50% each. What this says is Australians are smart people. They make up their own minds about what media they consume, who they back politically, and what they feel about the big issues. Senators, there are real threats to our democracy and the viability and diversity of the news media in Australia that do need to be addressed. Too many laws threaten journalists with jail, too many documents are top secret, and too many whistleblowers are punished when they should be protected. And as we move to digital operations, small media companies are at the mercy of the platforms they must operate on, and commercial success is incredibly fragile. These are real issues that challenge media diversity. I look forward to an open conversation and working with you.